Okay, today you need to go through and revise or rework some monograms. And so there's an instructional video that you can watch that it kind of explains the process of that. But before you watch that, I'm just going to kind of explain some things that I would like you to look at. So you're taking this completed worksheet, looking at how well you did with drawing the negative space and having the letters not touch each other and making sure you hit the points and vertices. And then you will practice your monogram in the same shape. So 3 to 5 of these, either rectangles, a circle, oval, anything, but you're going to repeat the shape, and then these are the things that you want to look for. Because yes, these actually meet the requirements where the letter touches all 4 of those points and you have small amounts of negative space and the letters don't touch each other. So really, if we looked at this one, the student really caught on right away and was able to draw just the negative space shapes. If we look at this one, we're just not there yet. So these are, if this is you and you feel like, oh, I'm still focusing on drawing the letter instead of the empty negative space, then these are some things that I want you to try by the 5th one. So some of you will have 5 that look different because you caught on to the concept right away. Some of you will make the 5th one perfect and well balanced at the end of like creating the progression of improvements. Others, if you get to this point, you don't want the letters to look the same in 5 of the same shapes. Your goal is for the letters to look different or be improved. So this student here was still drawing the letter. So instead of erasing it and starting over, make the adjustment in the next one. And you can see the separation marks. There's 2 lines here just so that the letters do not touch each other. The A should touch these 4 corners. So these little arrows represent things that I need to work on in this next one. And you want to use as much of the outer edge as possible. So moving on to this one, I'm still focused on drawing the letter instead of just the negative space. So I've got arrows pointing to this. I can see that this part of the B actually needs to rest on this line because that's this inner rectangle here. I need to look at this negative space, this is not a curved shape, so I've got to make an adjustment. If I get to this one, this actually does work. If we look at the A, now we've just drawn negative space. It does fit those 4 points. The B touches these 4 points. The R touches these 4 vertices. We're good there. Now looking at the negative space, you can see I have some arrows. So in the next one, I want to look at this shape. I want to look at this negative space shape. And I want to maybe adjust this. And even if I don't have arrows pointed to some things I want to change, I can still make adjustments here. These 2 letters look like they actually go together, so they're more unified. And so the R doesn't seem like it goes with this. So at some point you have to stop looking at 3 independent letters and look at your design as one unified whole so that you can work on balance. So if you look at this, I've changed from the triangle to a very narrow rectangle. These visually look balanced. These visually look balanced. And so now I'm going to look at the R to try to make it seem like it works with the A and the B. So if we look over here, this still has all the vertices. It has smaller amounts of negative space. This would be the higher grade out of these 2 because of the unification and because of the visual balance. So if we look at this, just sometimes you have to kind of sketch a line to see that, oh, those actually line up with one another. This lines up with the R, this negative space instead of a triangle. And then this one's higher up, and that's okay because it is in the center. And then by making this negative space smaller, I'm going to erase this a little bit so that you can see the letters. By making this one smaller, these 2 negative space balances with positive space, and then those are right in the middle of the design. So sometimes you really just need to look at where's the middle, where's the center of each letter so that things can line up. So this one would definitely receive a higher score than this one, even though this meets the criteria of making sure that the letters do touch the space. So those are things that you want to look for. Some of you can still shade in the negative space if you want to, if that's helping you visualize your letters, go for it. We will eventually not be doing that when we start to enlarge. This is just a technique that helps some of you differentiate or see the difference between light space and dark space. Okay, so you can go ahead and watch the next video and then progress on practicing your monogram in the same shape, so 3 to 5 practices.